allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First on our agenda is the reorganization of the board. I was president last year. Does anyone else want to do that, or I can remain?
You want to do it, that's fine.
Yep, because you did a fine job.
So moved.
Second.
We had a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And vice president,
Mike was last year.
It was, Mike,
Does that have to be Marshall County or can it be Starke?
You start, go ahead.
I'll do vice.
There you go.
is there a motion for Matt to be vice president?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And then, secretary,
it was
that
Matt.
was Matt, so.
I nominate Jesse.
Is there a motion for Jesse to be secretary?
I'll make motion.
Motion and a
I'll second it.
motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
What I gotta do for that? Nothing, all right. I'll take it. I'll take it.
And then, the drainage board attorney, Autumn. Guess we got the contract too. I guess we can do that at the same time. That's what you guys want.
Yeah,
Oh, contract the same one that you
Yes.
said. Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve all of those drainage board. Second.
We had a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye. We need to approve the contract separate.
Yeah, we can, yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract as submitted.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Our fifth member is gonna be, Jenny Mabel on the last guy.
Okay.
And we're able to get a hold of her.
Okay. Need to make a motion on her being that or no?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Sarah yet.
And then Sarah, she would be our recording secretary. Is there a motion to approve her as that?
So. So moved.
So is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Yep. And
Those are the contracts for emergency.
we have the emergency maintenance contracts. These are, what is there different ones here, or is it?
They're all different contractors in there. Some are, most of them are just the front and the back.
Okay,
It's
that's for the,
FEMA stuff. From 2018, they started it.
So explain to me what these are. I don't remember.
So if you have an event where we need to do emergency maintenance, then we keep track of all that so they can get reimbursed by FEMA for
Okay.
payment.
Mostly like a flood or.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
Hopefully, we don't need it, but.
That's just like the contractors.
So can you approve this as a group or?
Yes, we did another one. Yeah.
That's all I did, yeah.
I make a motion to approve the emergency contract as submitted.
Second. We had a motion by Stan and second by Jesse. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
2025 drainage board dates. You guys got the list, yeah.
Of course, those are tentative, depending on you guys' schedules and, farming and this and that, so.
It still looks good, but I don't know about May. I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
You know, we're not planning the second, but seventh, hopefully.
Those dates look okay to everyone then? Is there a motion to approve those?
I move to approve the meeting schedule as presented.
We had a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Then we have the minutes from November 13th, 2024. So we do that for there. You guys had a chance to review them.
Motion approved.
I had a motion from Stan, second,
I'll second.
second from Matt, all those in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Claims up next.
These are, something that was done last year, that they were turned in on December 30th. When I reached out to the contractor, because I wasn't aware of it, of course.
Yeah.
This was something, they had a flooding event, I believe in May, I could find in the records. And when I had asked the previous surveyor about it, he said it was an emergency. I think Craig kind of knows about it, but they didn't end up doing the work until they put it on there, August and October, I think. So, this wasn't bid out, of course, and then
Supposed to be. Supposed to be, cause what, anything over.
over
2,000,
2,000,
It's supposed to be bid.
but,
Did you know about it? Yes, he will.
okay. Well, I'm just, so, but yeah, all the information's in there that I could find and attached it, so you guys can look it all over. This one was allowed because it was only $1,000.
Guess my question is, if it wasn't probably bid, and it happens. What? The legal implications here are.
Sorry, I missed what you said.
Is there since it wasn't, you said it wasn't properly bid,
It was not bid out at all.
so is there legal implications here on approving it, or? I mean, if the work was done,
The work was
it
done,
was okay, I don't know what we do.
right?
My biggest concern is whether State Board of Accounts comes in and looks at it, because that's what we get into. They track back to see if everything like that was approved properly.
Yeah.
I don't know if it works the same way the drainage board, but that's.
Yeah, who authorized it? Previous surveyor. Ah, okay. I would probably, send a note to State Board of Accounts, let them know that we are aware of it, that it was the previous surveyor that, that did that we discussed it in a public meeting, and I think that's probably the most we can do about it at this point.
I think works now, we probably got past.
Yeah, right, yeah.
At least we cover our
Yeah.
backsides.
So we need to vote to approve it then?
Yes.
All right, I'll move that we approve the claim as presented.
Second.
We had a motion and a second, all those in favor?
I,
And the petition for variance, Ezekiel Farm.
No, and Rocky's here, if you have any questions or anything, he's wanting to put a perimeter tile into the Ezekiel arm for a septic system. Pretty standard of what we usually do, but he is here if you have any questions. Yeah.
This is just me, all you guys' requirements over here. Yeah, I'm not familiar how you handle some of this stuff.
Oh, for the variance for the, yeah, I mean, that's been standard for a long time. We look over the drawings and things and
Yeah, I guess I'll make a motion to approve.
One
second.
We had a motion by Stan and a second by Matt. All those in favor?
I,
We have James and Mary. Kyle.
So here's all this information. They were here in August and November. I have previous minutes from before, from what you guys kind of talked about. It looks like in November, we left it at, you guys discussed with Autumn, about possibly having a public hearing on this project. So there were questions in August, whether this was a county tile or a private tile. There was just more investigative things that were gonna get done, like the board and the Autumn. But I highlighted some things in the minutes from August, and then this is what you guys discussed in November there, and he's here also, so. No. You did any more research into
There's
it?
nothing else for me to do. That was the
Okay.
problem.
Okay, all right.
So you guys had made the motion to move forward with the project, and so we would just have to begin to build the watershed and then bid it out, is my understanding based on the minutes. And if I remember correctly, all of the homeowners were here at one of the meetings, and they had discussed working together. If I remember correctly,
Yeah. That's what I remember.
right?
Yep.
Have you guys
But
had
that
any?
pile goes off the end of the James Ditch. That all used to be farm ground. And they sold it off in properties and put houses in. Very last house right next to the James Ditch, they put a septic system in and had to put a printer drain around the septic system. Well, they shut all the water off up the line for the whole watershed. We come in and fixed it, and we've had to fix it twice, and it's plugged up again. It's the last time they went in and fixed it, they shut us off again. So all the waters north of him, we can't get drained. But we gotta go through his place. And he said he's not worried about everybody up the line, but yet we pay taxes for drainage into the James ditch, which I'm a James, but goes through my marginalineous is back in there. But it was an old clay tile, and we know how clay is. It always worked until they put the perimeter drain around the septic tank. They allowed them to go down and hook up to that clay tile. Once they hooked up the clay tile, they shut us off. Well, we fixed it, got plugged again. Kevin Falk come in and put 2 risers so he could back work it. Well, the last time it plugged up, it flooded underneath the house, and they were gonna condemn his house because overtop the septic system and all that. So the property owner, he dug a line from the stand up to the ditch, shut us off again, and he's got, the perimeter drain ain't hooked up, but it's draining from the stand up tile to the ditch, but all the water north, we can't get drained. We're just hit farmed, we had hay down, can't get in there. It's everything's backed up all the way back up through multiple neighbors now, because so it's a community tile instead of a county tile, because everybody drains into it, but nobody's getting drained because it's shut off at the last point going into the ditch. So this has been ongoing and ongoing and ongoing. We need some help somehow, some way. He's not worried about anybody up the line, but yet state law is we're allowed to be drained. We were drained, but now we're not. We got our water all shut off.
Was
We need help out there, huh?
Was he at that last meeting?
Yes, he was.
Okay.
Yes, he was. We all got a registered.
He was sitting right here.
Yeah, he was right there. We all got a registered letter.
But when he was here, he said he would work with you guys.
Yeah.
So I do remember that.
Yep,
Mhm.
yep. But he don't want us to go the way it was because I made an offer to him, so that it didn't have to go to all this. We know where the problem is. That I go in and split half the cost with him to fix it like where the problem was. We dig down and fix it and take care of it. But it goes down through trees and all that. Well, he don't want us to go through there. He wants to go around his house now. So don't highlight where he poured concrete down in the pipe. He shut it off. And I said, if you did it, it's on you. If it's not your fault, we got to fix somewhere else, not to take cost, which you have to have. He come over and was gonna climb off his motorcycle, and I suggested that wasn't a good situation to drive on down the road. So we have a problem with, but now he says that he inherited his problem when they put the tank in.
Well, in the previous minutes, we talked about it, the property owner causing the water issue doesn't want to fix the drainage. Fix it, then the drainage board can hire the job out and then put a lien on the property.
So
Correct.
we're still, yep, so we're still, we got water backed up, we need something happen out there, I don't know how we're gonna do it. But Kevin farms across the field, I wish Kevin was there, but I don't think he rented the ground off of the, corner. The electrician, and he's passed now, but he rented the ground, I don't think he even got he rented it, but I don't think he even got the seed back off of the ground. Cause it, 3/4 of that field was all underwater all last year. We need help, cause I was in the sand ground on the hill, and I got water in the basement when this happens. It don't happen in big rains all the time, but when we get these big rains, it sits there by paying into the taxes and drainage, it's just seeping in the ground because it's not going anywhere. And we need help. And with this problem been going on and on, I don't know what we can do about it, but
I see starting.
So we did determine then that section is private, that goes into that public or the regulated ditch, right?
Mhm.
It was supposedly a county drain, but we could not find any paper.
Yeah.
because that's.
We have
where
enough
all the paperwork
documentation.
And all that burned
Yeah.
up years ago, so I said, that's fine, but now it becomes with selling the farm ground off. Now what it becomes actually is a community tile, because the community out there all drains into the ditch. Now the community's all been shut off. But I say, and not your guys' fault, but it actually should then go over to the county, when the county took over and said, hey, hook up to that drain without going down the line, seeing if that tile's capable of handling that water, and hooking up to a clay tile should never been allowed. It should have had its own line for a further drain. Once they did that, that opened the whole all this can of worms, because we was fine up to that point. So now the new landowners that bought the house, he walked into the hornet's nest. And he don't want to be, then he turned around, and sold it to his son, and hey, it's not me, it's my son. Well, it don't really matter, because my water still goes south to the ditch. As I said, it's no different than the James ditch, and my aunt says, hey, I don't want that water, that's what he's saying, I don't want the water coming through me. And she closes the ditch off. They're not allowed to do that, they're not allowed to shut the water off by Indiana state law, we were running. So we got problems. I don't know how we're gonna solve it or what we're gonna do, but.
Basically, I think we had a motion second that. We create a watershed.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Same thing as yesterday.
Mhm.
then a price to repair it and then prorate the price into acreage. Install the tile. According to county specs. We basically just have to have the public hearing on that,
Mhm.
right? So we have to schedule that.
Mhm.
So we just gotta schedule what? That for April probably,
Yeah,
Well, maybe.
or how many days, I guess, is
I
that?
don't,
I
yeah,
can't
we would
remember.
have to see if we would have enough time for the
Yeah.
April meeting to get everything, but
We'll have to be in the paper and
Mhm.
certified letters. and-
Do we need a motion to do that or?
it's already in
Okay.
there.
It's already in.
Okay.
I guess that's our next moves.
How does the process take to set up a
We would have to notify everybody and then make it public, publish it, so that we could do it,
and then if we approve it, then we can move forward with
yes.
having it done and split the
Yes.
cost and everything else.
If we would have, I guess technically, if we would have had the paperwork that was a county tile, then we could go in, and fix that spot no matter what, but since we don't have the paperwork saying it's a county tile. We can't go in there, fix it, right?
The thing with that is though, I mean, I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but I've heard some talk about the fire. And we still have all kinds of records from the early 1900s up there, so I don't know that ever, yeah.
That's what the only reason I say that is because my aunt was a truck.
No, I understand.
Yeah, that's what she said, because she's lived in the neighborhood all them years, and then
Right.
we've been there all these years, and they farmed it. That's what's sad down the road, when they put them housing developments on farm ground, not realizing what like that can happen, that. Because it's created a monster all these years, we just keep getting worse and worse.
Sounds to me back in the day, they didn't do their homework
Mhm.
when building the houses,
Mhm.
You know,
right by the tile.
But it wasn't allowed at first. They didn't allow it. because of water payment. But then they went to the state, and the state approved this, and they had, was 5 and 7 acres plots. So, Pioneers on our corner, Jeff, glad he's there, because we're supposed to have 3 more trailers in there, but Jeff bought the place. And, then the next was a trailer. As soon as he got his trailer in, he kept 2 acres and sold the next plot, which was, and then that's where they built the house, but
Are you,
all that now.
are you north of Jeff then?
Right north,
Okay,
yeah,
that's what I thought.
yep. And then Tom goes across, and what's bad about that, it comes off the James ditch, through the neighbor where we're having trouble, across the other neighbor, through Jeff, up across me, in the woods, the water, across the road there. And the road's actually been, and I come in last year, when we had the problem. Had a new road there on 700. Because, but with the water going underneath the road, and come up, clear up the road on both sides, the road's been breaking down out there. And you could actually feel when you go through with all that water table off that high, it just, road just crumbles out there, and they've had to come in and pack right there. So.
How are you going to determine who to send out notices to?
I'll talk to Gwen about it.
You can put a shed map together, but that's,
We'll find out.
so once you put the shed map together, will that drain be independent from the rest of the shed? Or will, if you're gonna make it a county drain, will that draw from funds on the shed, or will have its own watershed for both of them?
We haven't discussed that actually,
Have you done those before in the past?
We've actually taken private drains, created a shed. And the people in that shed
Paid for
would
that.
split the cost and never make it a county drain. But if you guys will make it a county drain, that's totally what you do. But you can't block a private and neutral drain in any other code, which is.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't deny somebody drainage.
No. You guys can rule on that today if you wanted to.
So we could rule on that and then basically
You could say it needs to get fixed. And decide who's gonna pay for it.
So, yeah, that's what I wanted to do there is.
And see, I thought we had already done some of that, and that's why I didn't see it in the minutes, because we've had this conversation before.
Yeah.
we could,
And so that's why I want to go back through some of the recordings maybe. And decide exactly what was said, because he and I have had that conversation, and we had that conversation at one of the last
if
meetings.
that's the case, I'd rather do that. It'd probably be, we get results a lot quicker, cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You
at
guys,
a hearing, when everyone was here, they somewhat discussed that.
That guy said he would work with you.
Yeah.
Right,
I
and he said
remember
would
saying that.
provide X amount of dollars.
Well, it's
Don't
in the
remember.
minutes.
Does
He said a
does it-
couple thousand.
Okay, because I was trying to find all of
It'd
the
be
minutes.
The bottom of that one, Gwen.
And see what's sad about that is,
Yeah.
he was close to it, I know the state laws and all that, and you don't want to get in and point fingers, but when the septic system was allowed to go in with the perimeter drain. But once they went in and fixed it this last time, the perimeter drain is no longer there for the septic system because they put a new pipe from his stand-up riser down to the ditch. It's not as deep as what it used to be. Well, the perimeter drain for one's not hooked up anymore to the septic system, and they got pictures of it where they filled the whole pile full of rocks.
We're more concerned, I guess, with the tile perimeter. I mean, that's the.
That's the part, but what I'm saying, that tile there, that they put a new tile from that stand up to the ditch ain't as deep as what the old one is, was filling clear full of rock. Then they just shoved everything back, and they said, because before we had so much pressure, it was blowing the clay piles out, you know how with head pressure was blowing, well. We can't get in, I go get a big pump and shoot it over the line, down the line, but I gotta get drained somehow.
One of those, he said he was. Help pay or something.
Mhm.
But didn't you also talk about, you put concrete in a.
They put, and that's what I said, I would pay for it, I would go in with half of it. Pay for it to fix it out there, and if he had done that, it was all on him, done something illegal, because you're not allowed to put concrete down a pile, so he don't want us to hook up to that pile, he wants to go around the house a different way, because the reason is. It's because what he done out there is wrong against the law, to shut everybody off, so he would be at fault to have to fix the problem.
so Mr. Colcais, how would you recommend we make the motion on this then? Do we want to make a finding and then direct him to take action and set a deadline or?
I believe the way the statute reads is, you guys send a surveyor out, and if she determines that the blockage was intentional, that's one way to go. If it wasn't intentional, that's another way to go. But he's saying it's intentional, so the way I understand it is that person would be liable for all the repairs if he did it on purpose.
And did he dispute that at one of the public?
He
hearings?
didn't, well, no, he
No,
just,
he
he would
wanted-
work.
He worked
Together.
this and what he wanted to do and
Never
talk to
said
the
that.
other surveyor, go around the house instead of going across the driveway into that tile, because if you do that route, the way the tile lays down, you'd find the problem. Well, he wants us to go around the house, back of his house and hook up that way. Well, then that eliminates finding what the actual problem was, where the problem is.
Mhm.
Problem lays right out there where all the water stood, because water flowed up to that point. And then after that, it don't flow, so from that point to the ditch. But it was, they burnt pumps and stuff, trying to keep the water, and they were gonna condemn the house if they didn't get the water out from underneath the house, well, they got it out, well. Now no water at all stands, but it's still standing on up north of us and across the road and all that.
What's your thoughts?
My suggestion would be to send Gwen out
Mhm.
to get a fresh perspective of what's going on. And her and I and Craig can potentially discuss what the best option would be with his experience of doing it in Marshall County. And I think that would be the best route.
How much authority do you have as far as determining who pays for it?
The board, I don't, the
Yeah,
board
or we-
does.
you-
The
yeah,
board
I
has the
understand,
authority.
yeah.
And so if Gwen could at least give the board a better understanding of what is going on and what could fix the problem, I think the next meeting, the board could make a determination
Yeah, I like that.
Then we could move forward and
Get it done.
with the proper way to go about it.
in a timely manner, because we go the other route, it's gonna take a while, could cost more, everybody.
Mhm. Is there a motion?
And sorry, if I remember correctly, the reason why we had said we would discuss it further at the January meeting was so we all could be on the same page moving
Yeah.
forward.
We didn't have it January.
No,
Correct. This is our first
Yeah,
one of
yeah,
the year.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
Yes.
I would make a motion, send Glenn out, try to make some determination, discuss it with Craig. And then report to us back. At the April 2nd meeting. For,
And Kevin Fox, if you contact Kevin, he's done all that work the very last time, putting the stand up. And he washed it out 2 or 3 times, gone back and gets back so far, and well, Kevin's been out there. John Elanius, he passed with my wife's uncle, he fixed it first time, Kevin's fixed it the last 2 times out there. So Kevin's put the stand up right, and he's aware of the issue and stuff where it's at, so.
Yep.
I'll
Go ahead.
second.
We had a motion and a second. All those in favor?
I,
We got hostage update.
yeah, no bids were received for this.
What were we doing on that again? Because we did it so long ago.
Well,
We were,
here's the map of everything that's going on.
Where-
It involved the Army Corps of Engineers, and there were questions from some of the contractors about where the dumping, because you couldn't put it,
oh, the smoke and went that way.
and so there wasn't anything exactly where something was set up where they were supposed to put it. So I think,
Something we need to send out again, like rebid it or.
Well, she got to talk with the Army Corps.
well, since he approved everything at that time, it just, in here, it doesn't tell the contractor where they wanted the wheels.
They don't want to be in trouble for that.
No,
They get
exactly.
Liable, they dump it.
Yeah.
wetland,
Oh,
Correct.
Mm.
yeah. But yeah, that's, and,
Was this the one where
you
were we dredging that almost to the river?
know. And everything's in here, of course, Army Corps and stuff. I mean, it's all legitly.
So it sounds like we need to. Is that some? Looks like we're going through farm fields, so we gotta
Mhm.
wait till the crops are out, correct?
Yeah, because the deadline too, since we didn't have a meeting in January or February. The deadline was March 31st, so.
Sounds like we need to, if that's something we still wanna do, is rebid it. Maybe starting in the fall, once the crops are off, and then give them. Till March.
Well, if we didn't receive any bids when we advertised, we can just hire whoever we want to, can't we?
Well, we need to figure out where the location where the we supposed to go.
The problem was in the scope of work,
Yeah,
he didn't have it to where the spoil was going to go in the wetlands.
Right.
That's a big no-no. The contractor get in trouble. So that's why nobody wanted to take it over.
Yeah, I think we need the scope of work needs to be.
yeah, just,
We need to update that, the spoil will be hauled here
Correct.
and
Have it all on paper.
yeah.
probably rebid it.
Do we have a location for that then, or we gotta?
I'll need to look into it
Okay.
and see.
Spoil can be hauled off and blah, blah, yeah. But we made a suggestion where to take it to the board.
Oh, you did? Okay.
We talked to, the previous surveyor. Was out there on our farm on 450. That ditch that goes along there, Bob knows. You can't hardly dig that ditch because the last time that we went to dig it, the roadside always wants to slope it or fluff it. And it's been doing this for years. Now the road has actually kind of went over and stuff. So we suggested bringing all that spoil and filling that road ditch in. We would even, help with some of the cost of doing it. As long as the dirt came, we would put it in and stuff. And, we would have to, put pipe in there because there is a county tile that comes from 1150 that drains the low hole of 1150 that comes through there. And that's where it dumps into. But there would have to be a little bit of some pipe and some more piping from Bob's ditch over. But that was our suggestion, was to take it there and use it there. The county was willing to bring the dirt there. We would do the work of
Okay.
filling that ditch, and it kind of would kill two birds with one stone. The county road would not be fluffing it, but slumping it. But you can't dig that ditch and it always want to slide in.
All right, I can definitely look into that as an option.
Motion.
Just to read.
I'll make a motion to rebid the project.
What's the scope of work is?
Yes, once the scope of work is changed.
Second.
We had a motion by Matt and a second by Jesse. All those in favor? Aye.
Alright.
The McGaffey branch.
Come on up. I mean, tell us what, here's the map. He's got a ditch that runs through here. He wanted to put tile in there, fill it in, so he can farm his field. So here's the, can give you any questions that you have for him.
Basically what it is just, it is a county, not a county ditch. It's on our farm, right by my house. It's very, very small at the very bottom. It's a huge sand knob. I think we have one tile that goes into it. And there's like one surface drain that goes into it. We were just wondering if at some point we could close that in, put pipe in and close that ditch, so it makes it easier to farm those two pieces. Not saying that we do it right now, but eventually we would like to do that.
So it's basically right here.
There's like 700 and some feet. We would make sure that the pipe that we put in is the same, at least the same size as the culvert that's under the road, so that we're not backing anybody up to the north. Or, yeah, to the north. You can tell all that right there is just a big sand.
Yeah, it's super sandy.
So we would use that material, to try to level our, just make it a lot easier for us. Like I say, it's not something that we're going to do like right now, but I just thought bring it to the board and see if it was an option. If we could possibly do it.
So I guess with that, maybe Gwen, you'd probably have to look at, what's there to compare, so it's the right size,
Right,
just so he'd know, and then you could let us know.
and he's right at the almost like right at the end of that ditch, so he's not
Mhm.
blocking anything for anybody else or
Right.
affecting them.
Just so the size requirements are right.
Mhm.
I think the culvert in the road is 24 inch. So that's what we got to put in. If it's bigger. Is there much water that comes from like the north there?
I haven't been out there, to be honest with
There's
you.
a
I'm just gonna,
fair little amount. And there's a kind of a low spot up to the north that's behind Tim Wagner's place. Kind of a little, not really a swamp, but a little area.
Have you contacted the FSA office about closing in an open ditch?
No, yeah, not yet. I don't think the FSA has anything. Shouldn't, FSA shouldn't have anything to do.
Is that a wetlands issue though with closing in open ditch? So that's kind of like kryptonite to them folks, so.
Well, from what I understand, when you remove trees.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You have to, but I've never heard of a ditch.
I thought there was something about like closing an open ditch. Could we?
I've
Might
never
want
heard
to
of.
check on that before you ever proceed on that and ask their legality on that, because sometimes that gets pretty sticky.
Is there any precedent like this?
No.
Guess if, I'd like to see, what you can find on that, Glenn, or look at and let us know.
okay,
Before we make a decision here.
all right,
And maybe check on the concern this gentleman brought up
Yeah,
about
about the-
closing in an
yeah.
open ditch before we tackle that.
Mhm.
okay.
I could comment on that, on his point, that, down at Culver on, used to be Mystic Hills Golf Course. The county ditch that flows through that golf course. And Mr. Ursay closed it in and put a tile in. And Army Corps didn't appreciate that. And he had to pay the fine or create wetlands in the vicinity, and chose to create more wetlands. I'll figure what the ratio is, 3-to-1,
4-to-1, I think.
4-to-1, what he closed in. So in that case, he did come back to bite him.
Yeah. But yeah, they just determine if it's wetlands or not, because even trees that way too anymore. Cause I'm removing some and they're short staffed and. They've been kind of slow rolling me and.
Yeah. Who'd you say made that determination, Craig? That was the Army Corps or?
Yeah.
Yeah, might be good just to run that by them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully we have something by April 2nd.
Okay.
Possibly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Zecal branch ditch.
Yeah, this is a, project that was called in to Craig, this is, he sent me this map and everything like that. I did go out and look, that's probably been like in January, I think, when we were out there together. It is low and filling up with sediment and weeds, and I mean, it's a mess out there, but, Craig might be able to, it's his, he's more familiar with the area and things. If you want more information for you guys. There's something I didn't know if you guys wanted to get out for bids or.
Barry Lehman contacted me, he farmed the area. It's a Zinca Bridge, about 5,700 feet. This is where this county tile comes into it. You can just barely see, it's almost, it's right at the water's edge, already going to the water. This is a tile or culvert that's in bad shape. There's another culvert you can see just barely above the water. This is another culvert. You can see it's just barely into the water. Not a lot of brushing, but you're probably talking 2 to 3 feet of sediment to come out of there to get it going.
Yeah, when the water's that high and we're kind of still in a drought.
Exactly.
There's a lot in the bottom of the ditch. That's got what part. Yeah, there's crop land on both sides of that, so it's something that. Probably falls, right? Time we put it out for bids and.
Yeah, he was hoping something sooner than that, but at this point in time, they'll be in the fields next month.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So what kind of, there's money in that watershed?
Yes, there is.
That,
You have an idea?
is that off the house?
Yeah, it's off the house.
There's quite a bit of money in the house, if I remember right.
There is 114,000.
Frank, with your recommendation be to put it in a bid. Go from there, see what we come up with. Maybe create a bid scope
Okay.
and put it up for bid. I'll make that motion.
You're making a motion.
Second. We had a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Got some old business.
I got, since we're on the house,
Yes.
did you get my information on the beaver dam? Sent me out to go to that.
Oh, yes, yes.
Did you want to address that today? That's for this board to decide.
Yeah, it is. We do have a beaver dam. That's in the conservancy. Are we allowed to go back there? I was gonna check into that.
Condition ditch.
Okay, all right.
It's blocking the water upstream.
I know. I just, that, when I went over with that woman, I was concerned
This is
about.
State Road 10, just east and start Marshall. We got a beaver dam right here. You can see it's holding back probably 4 feet of water.
Yeah, that's good.
It's bad back there.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't let the gentleman, but
I'll make a motion to remove the beaver dam.
And that's the trapper that we use, this prices that we've been using. He actually takes the dam out himself, so we don't have to use get the machinery back there.
Oh.
Takes one off.
Oh,
Let's do
that's
that.
good.
Let's do it.
I don't know, I'd hate to disturb those poor beavers.
he already has all the information in there about who the.
Is there a second yet?
No,
I'll second the motion.
we had a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye.
That's what I wanted.
Yeah, well, I told you they can be removed by hand, something like
Go ahead. All right.
Business.
Thank you, Craig.
You're welcome.
All right, so here is. Matt was out there and Charlie was out there. This is a mess.
the farm one.
So there was some verbal changes to the scope of work. And some contractors apparently were aware of that and others weren't. And so,
Well. And I can say it. Basically, he told you guys that you could clean it on the north. And he didn't tell anything. But
There's less than 1,000 feet down through there.
yeah,
There's just, the thing is in the bid, it didn't say remove concrete, remove large trees. It didn't say any of that. And when we questioned it, he said, well, just jump to the north side. If you can do it, do it. Rather than not dig it.
yeah.
And that was the thing. And I mean, the normal thing to do would be to jump to the north side and dig. And the way I understand, there's no limitations of just digging it on the north side.
And then we didn't have after that crossing, he was only going like
Yeah,
600
Right.
feet.
You know, he didn't look at the proper paperwork or the proper maps to determine there was another. You know,
Charlie and I went out
1,200
and
feet.
pointed.
And my word was, we'll just do it for the same amount that we bid. There's that extra piece in there.
Does that show where that goes to the north, Gwen?
here's, she's gonna pull it, Sarah's gonna pull it up for us on this.
Basically, after a crossing, he only went 600 feet. And he
Yeah.
went another 1,000
Yeah,
to the north south.
He was looking at the wrong ditch, I have
Yeah.
a feeling. He was looking at the other ditch that was going to the north.
Basically, he didn't go and walk it.
He
So-
did not walk it. But in
I
his
mean,
defense, there was crops out there,
I've walked through cornrows.
you know.
So the whole, all those ditches that was over, so the middle one there, Sarah, that's in blue, can you click on that please? So that was another one that's listed in here too, that there was some. And it's, I've got it highlighted on there, I believe that you guys were gonna clean that for like 1,500 or something too.
Whatever it divides the
Yeah.
whole job as per foot, just, no specific amount, if it's 1,200 feet, 1,300 feet, whatever it is. Just, take the whole job, divide it,
Mhm.
it's this much per foot, and just add that on there.
Basically, we
We've done
determined,
that other places.
wasn't there 1,000 feet that wasn't gonna get cleaned?
Yes,
You have a north south ditch that ran
The
through,
whole system.
right.
yeah,
The whole
right.
system.
they ran through Bob's property, running north south,
Absolutely.
and then we weren't cleaning from there, going back west. Like 1,000 some feet,
Yes.
and once we got to that, we were cleaning, so we're gonna have all that area that wasn't gonna be cleaned.
Mhm.
That's when they gonna come up the ditch north towards Highway 10 past my house. Well, it makes no sense that to stop to clean the main ditch there in the house, because you're gonna have a high spot there. When they clean that ditch.
All the water's gonna rush there and just kind of sit.
So they're gonna have to come back that ditch past that runs towards Highway 10 and clean down the house anyways to get a little more fall to pitch that ditch. So
Yeah.
why not go all the way to there, to that point? I mean. And I would really like to make a suggestion in the future. If maybe we could get and set a precedent and maybe at least clean a mile or like 2 miles of Ezekiel every year. Because that ditch really needs to run, and it's, if I remember right, it's 9 miles from the river to 17. If I call where it runs to. This ditch really needs to run and be kept clean, or we go underwater with all the big rains, and the more and more parking lots and everything that are on the west side of Culver, they keep pouring. We're getting more water and more water, but we're getting it faster too. So we really need to keep this drain going. And with the pond weed and other things that tend to grow in it, we have a lot of issues, but. And I don't think there's ever been any precedent set on the house drain on this main ditch to clean it or have a portion cleaned every year, or do they do some of this on some of the other ditches? I don't know, or just, is it clean as necessary?
Clean as
Yeah.
necessary.
Clean as necessary.
So how do you guys wanna move forward with this? I mean, we need to, it's already like the surface drain on this was bid out in several different. That's already been, you guys have done that, right? Working on the surface drain or nothing? You haven't started
No,
anything, right?
because
Okay,
you have to do the ditch first.
okay. So nothing, of course, has been started. So do we wanna find out how much it's gonna cost to do the next stretch? Are we gonna have to rebid it? I mean, I don't know what you guys,
Mind you, we bid this already and we're the cheapest bid.
right, you know,
If you wanna rebid this, it leaves me at an unfair advantage.
Yeah.
That means I have to bid it even cheaper to get it.
I understand that, you know.
And this is work that I won last year.
get done until next year.
And it won't get
Mhm.
done until next year, because nobody's gonna be able to get, it's a big project.
This feels like it's pretty standard with a lot of the other projects we do. I mean, the bid's been awarded, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so it's just a modification.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
How many of those did we have on the courthouse, Dan?
That much.
When is it supposed to be due? Complete?
Oh, yeah, we're gonna need to move that data as well. Give them an extension. It would have been March, well,
Months on wait for a meeting, so.
right, exactly, yeah,
We
So
can
there-
have it done by the time crops go.
okay.
Yeah, because when you plan on planting out there?
April. Middle, end of April, depends.
I can get it done.
You guys wanna just make a motion that you're gonna approve modifications to the bid to Beaver? And then, give them an extension on the time frame.
Do we know what the modifications will cost though? I mean, we have any idea? Are we gonna break it down like you said? per
We're gonna
foot?
have
Per
to,
foot?
The only cost would be,
I can do it real quick. Give me the dates.
he's got the rest of them down there.
got a human calculator.
Hey, Matt, can you, in case you missed those?
over on Joe Miller's son.
I'm at $1.73 a foot.
Doing it the north side.
$1.73 and a half.
So we're in the 1,000 at that.
Yep,
So, $1,700, 17,
Well, I'm not
50,
talking about the.
or whatever it works out to.
So that we know.
It's like $1.73 and a half.
yeah, I would say,
I would just say under 2,000.
Yeah,
right,
up to 2,000.
There you go.
yeah,
And then,
You did it as.
Yeah,
Sounds like.
that's for
Yeah. Big difference.
that stretch going that way, right?
To the east.
yeah, east and west one.
What are we doing on that ditch? Cause you wanted that clean, Bob, you wanted that clean, where you can clean your stub ditch, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's another 700-800 feet, I think. And that ditch,
Originally, that was all supposed to be done, and I don't know if it ever got to the board.
yeah, I don't know if it did or not.
I'm guessing not.
No, I don't see it.
I don't remember discussing that one.
Mhm. Well, we
Cause
just-
that was before this Ezekiel,
Yeah,
before the stop on it.
right.
Yeah. It was like 500-600 feet up to his ditch.
All right, I just have one question. I understand where your point, you're an unfair advantage. Cause everybody will know your bid on the north, but what about everybody that bid it on the south that was not told they could do it on the north? Aren't they at an unfair advantage?
Were they told that they could do it?
There was no one that even contacted us, let us, we bid by what the bid said, and it said.
You know, I'm saying both sides.
I mean,
That's what I'm looking at. Yeah.
I make phone calls.
Yeah,
But we're always cleaning the ditch.
yeah.
We're not, if it's a clearing job, if it's moving trash, moving big pieces of concrete and rock, that would be in the scope of work. Would be,
But I'm just saying the scope of work said on the south side. It was not, I'm not saying anything against you guys.
Right.
It's obviously the previous surveyor like talk.
Yeah.
But I'm saying is there were other people that bid it on the south side.
well, if they didn't find that as a question, it wasn't a problem for them.
Yeah.
But normal thoughts would be that we would move to the north side.
No, but
As far as I know, I mean, if they responded to the bid as it was posted and the bid was awarded based on that. If they ask more clarifying questions, that's to their advantage. I don't know that anybody was damaged by that. And I don't think we'd be in any violation of the law to do that, so. Obviously, we've got a timetable we want to move on, and re-advertising is going to extend that.
This is the one, this,
We move forward.
Yeah,
this is the Miller arm.
yeah, that's just a note that was written that could be an extra 1,500, but it didn't go through.
Yeah, it didn't get
The
to the
board, it
board.
just, assigned it. Yeah,
So we're looking at adding 1,000 feet to the scope.
You do both of them.
Okay, do we want to do both of them?
Well, that's why I don't know, but I'm just saying, if you're doing both. I guess my point is, I don't know, what's the legalities here? Can we add both?
I don't understand what the.
I mean, we could add the
the
1,000, but when you go to the other ditch.
so the Miller arm that goes north and south through Bob's property was not part of the bid, what you're saying.
And I think that would have to
I
be
think we
bid
have to
out.
separately advertise that.
Right,
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Get the,
So you
One that
could
runs
do the
east-west.
1,000.
the first
Yeah.
one, it's just a continuation,
Yeah.
so that would just be a modification.
so the Miller arm was not part.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so I'll make the motion that we accept the modification to add 1,000 feet to the scope of the original project. And do that for up to $2,000 additional and extend the deadline to April 31st, the last day of April.
Got a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
I,
okay, and then you want the Miller arm bid out.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I see, I thought when we talked, that was all part of, is that what you guys thought?
So that was, I've made about 10 or 12 trips down on this job. I got more time in it than it's worth.
Well, we have more time than looking at it.
No, I know your frustration, 'cause
So,
it's just like,
and it was.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, going forward, we should have more clear scope of work, I would hope.
I'll meet with all the contractors on the site and go over everything at the same time, so questions can be asked and answered. And
I'm sure things will they'll be done more professionally. Things will get called out in the future, the way they should be. Because we have an elected official.
I appreciate that, thank you.
I don't think I'm gonna comment on that.
It feels like a trend. It's a trend, I think.
Do we need a motion? Go ahead and speak that for bid. Or, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would make that motion to go ahead, create scope, submit it for bid.
All the Miller arm,
Yes.
also.
Got a motion and a second, all those in favor? Aye. That, well,
So the Zico on drain.
All those are going.
Okay, that's done.
So the service drain, that would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna do that when they do that.
Yeah.
They already got the bid.
They got-
It's not gonna do it when they do that.
Yeah.
When the water's low enough to actually.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, then we'll go to the new business.
I don't have any new business since Craig brought up the beaver. The dam issue and stuff. Do you have anything else, Craig, that I might be forgetting? Okay.
It's a Hawkins update.
Yeah,
What was the
what's that?
Hawkins?
What's the Hawkins ditch update?
It's all part of that. We're just getting the whole, it's all this, all in the same.
And then next meeting would be April 2nd. We already approved all that, meeting dates.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
Motion to
Any,
adjourn.
Anyone else have anything?
I did make sure that Mrs. Knievel from Pulaski is aware of our next meeting.
Oh, good, okay.
She confirmed she will be here, so
Do you have the right email address?
I texted her.
The motion to adjourn,
I'll make a motion.
Second.
second, all in favor, right?
I